Should be a good show. Okay. There you
Powered by Riverside.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome into a brand new episode of the Brooklyn Wolverine Podcast. I'm your host, Matt Cott, and Jake, we have a nice Tuesday edition for all of our fans this week. Alongside of me, as always, my co-host, Jake Bells. What's up, Jake?
What's up, man? How are you? Yeah, Tuesday this week, back-to-back weeks, but
Back-to-back Tuesdays.
I'm not trying to make it like this. I like it on Wednesdays, middle of the week.
Yeah, I kind of like it on Wednesday. Tuesday's nice because the race literally just happened like 2 days ago, so it's still fresh with everybody's mind, our fans, ourselves. But I do like Wednesday. I started on Wednesdays. I love Wednesdays. We're going to continue going Wednesdays. But appreciate everyone chiming in, tuning in to us tonight live. We're going to be talking to all of you about Phoenix. Week number 4 in the books of the 2026 NASCAR Cup Series season, live from the Valley of the Sun. Jake, absolutely incredible race weekend from Phoenix. We're going to kick things off by saying this. I absolutely love the doubleheader between NASCAR and the IndyCar Series.
Yes.
I love it. I think we need more doubleheaders at all times, right?
Yeah.
I get it. Indy runs a lot of road courses. NASCAR fans will complain that we're going to Mid-Ohio or Road America and all that type of stuff. But if Indy's on an oval, I feel like we should obviously, as NASCAR, we should put our race weekend on the oval with the Indy Series.
Yeah, no, I like it. Then you can get like Indy fans watching, and I guarantee you NASCAR fans watch the race too. I didn't get to catch it. I wanted to, but would have been cool to watch it.
So this weekend's schedule was kind of weird, right? Because we had the ARCA Menard Series. That was on Thursday night.
Mm-hmm.
It's usually a Friday night race, but obviously due to qualifying and practice of the IndyCar and then, of course, the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, they had to keep the track open as much as possible. So we had ARCA on Thursday, which was a great race, by the way. Then we had Friday was kind of like practice qualifying. Saturday was all day racing. We had qualifying, we had practice with the Cup. You had the IndyCar Series race. And then at night, we had the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, which, again, another fantastic race. And we'll get into that with all of you as well. And then, of course, Sunday, we had the Cup Series live from the Straight Talk Wireless 500. So if you're excuse me, bear with me tonight, folks. I'm sorry. I got a case of food poisoning, unfortunately. But I wanted to be on with Jake and all of you to discuss Phoenix with all of you. So, like I said, bear with me. We're going to continue working hard tonight, and we're going to have some fun. But if you're listening to us live on YouTube and Facebook, feel free. Blown Engine chat line wide open. We want to hear about your opinions on the Phoenix race weekend. While you are listening to us, if you love what you're hearing, smash the follow button on Facebook at the Brooklyn Wolverine Podcast, YouTube at the Brooklyn Wolverine Podcast, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and Amazon Music. That's the platforms we're on. And if you missed our live stream on Tuesday this week, but usually Wednesdays, we will have our episode posted on Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Music. So go over there, follow us, smash the like button, all that type of stuff. We appreciate everything that the fans of this podcast do for us. So, all right, Jake, what do we want to open up with? Do we want to start with Phoenix or do we want to start with the news?
Start with the news.
Cletus McFarland.
Yep.
Cletus McFarland, for everyone listening to us live, Cletus McFarland, he is getting a 3-race deal with RCR that was announced last week in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. And Jake, a lot of drivers not happy with it.
Not a lot of drivers not happy with it, especially with one who's on that team. is the one who's the big name around the news. That would be Kyle Busch.
Yeah, Kyle Busch definitely was interviewed last week from Phoenix. They asked him, they're like, "Hey, what do you think about Cletus McFarland running the RCR, Riley Auto Parts Series car?" Um, Kyle Busch, in so many words, basically said, "Yeah, my son's raced more races than Cletus McFarland."
He's not wrong.
Not a ringing endorsement. I can tell you that.
No.
I guess off topic. Who would win a race, Brexton or Cletus?
Brexton more than I mean, I guess you got to race the late model cars if you're going to do it with Brexton, because that's what he races. But still, I mean, you put Brexton I guarantee freaking to you. I mean, the seat will be eating the damn steering wheel. But I'd probably put my money on Brexton.
So here's one quote, and again, Kyle Busch was one of the critics of the garage after finding out the Cletus McFarland news. Kyle Busch ends up saying, he's like, "Listen, Denny Hamlin ran 10,000 before he got here," he said, adding that he doesn't know if Cletus has even reached 10 races. Then came the line that will likely follow the story for a while. So in Kyle Busch's words, so I don't know if Cletus has run 10 or not, but there is definitely a need to have an ample experience. My son has probably ran more races than he has, and he is a 10-year-old kid. So I don't think that sets well with many of us, said Kyle Busch. So, yeah, I mean, look, I love Cletus McFarland. I do. I love his YouTube channel. I think he's a very entertaining person in regards to racing. I think that NASCAR is trying to reap the benefits of putting him in the series and capitalizing on gains of viewerships with having Cletus McFarland in the truck series, O'Reilly Auto Parts. Look, I think for ARCA, I think Cletus McFarland's very fun. You bring in a guy like that, it puts views on a division that a lot of people won't pay attention to.
Yeah.
Right?
No,
They're all
I
amateur
agree.
drivers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They're all amateur drivers. They're all new to the sport and all that type of stuff. So it's a good idea to put him in ARCA. But look what happened when he got in the truck, right? I mean, he wrecked within, and I'm not going to blame him for that. It's a learning experience. But I mean, we have honestly rushed Cletus McFarland up as a prospect from ARCA to truck to O'Reilly Auto Parts within 2 years.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of guys in the truck series who should deserve that seat over him.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you said, I personally think it's a name thing and a following thing.
Right.
I also know I don't really think this had anything to do with it. I know he was best friends with Greg Biffle, hung out with him all the time.
Mm-hmm.
They did a lot of like backyard racing. Cletus has his own track. Like, I get where it comes as a frustration standpoint for these drivers who work their whole lives away and race so long in ARCA, stuck in trucks for so long. Finally get a call up, and it's like this dude's, like you said, he's probably raced less than 10. He has raced less than 10 actually. And this dude's now in the O'Reilly Parts series. Do I think I'm going to see him doing anything? No.
Mm-mm. No, but like here, going back to your point, Jake, and this is what kind of pisses me off about NASCAR, right? Like we'll put Cletus McFarland in a car, and I get it, he's got a sanction license, all that, but there is an absolute gem of a prospect right now down in the Craftsman Truck series, or not Craftsman Trucks, excuse me, O'Reilly Auto Parts series. Brent Cruz. Brent Cruz is not even allowed to do half the schedule because he's 17 years old.
Yeah.
Brent Cruz is legitimately in the front of the pack almost nearly in every single race when he races. They literally said this past weekend at Phoenix, like he literally has to gain as much points as possible because he's going to be out of the car for multiple weeks because of his age. But then, like, you give Cletus McFarland, again, I love Cletus. I think he's entertaining. I think he's very fun, and I enjoy, listening to him and watching his YouTube channel. But I feel like if you wanted to keep him in the ARCA, that's great. But at the same time, like, let him run a whole season of ARCA.
Yeah.
Let him run a whole season of the trucks. We are just, I mean, listen, RCR is very good in the O'Reilly Auto Parts series. They have very good equipment.
Mm-hmm.
Their cup, it's a totally different story. But my final point from this, Jake, I will say, is there any driver that's so mentally checked out from RCR other than Kyle Busch?
Nowhere as close to him. I mean, I just watch Austin Dillon just drive around like a freaking idiot all week. I mean, every fucking week, but I mean, that guy's always going to have a ride. I think he's always checked out when he's sitting in 30th place 3/4 of the fucking race. But yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
It's Kyle Busch. I mean,
I need a better
what I'm
opinion.
looking at it
I
as,
really,
if what's going on with Alex Bowman, which I think we all can kind of chalk up if
read the tea leaves.
yeah, that Vertigo is not good, and multiple people quoting Denny Hamlin has said he's done. It's over.
Mm-hmm.
I think if that seat opens up, I think Rick Hendrick would be stupid not to put Kyle Busch in that car, mending on if there's any other free agents or anybody that he could get. But I think Kyle Busch would push it. I just don't. He doesn't enjoy. I don't see him ever enjoying a race with them. I just feel like every week is just,
No.
yeah, I'm here to race. I get paid to be here.
It's interesting. I read an insider. I read an insider, and I forget who it was from, and I apologize, I don't have it up. But they literally said that RCR always capitalizes when NASCAR changes vehicles, and unfortunately, they are unsustainable after the new vehicle comes into play for a couple years. And look what happened with Kyle Busch's career. Look at Ryan Newman's career. Look at Kevin Harvick's career. Look at all these careers at RCR since Dale's death. They're unsustainable pieces of equipment. Yeah, they can capitalize when everything works out in their favor, because in 2022, let's call it as is. I mean, both RCR cars look pretty freaking good.
Yeah.
And 2023, Kyle won 3 races. But the problem is that it was unsustainable. And they have this fluke win, and everyone thinks RCR is back. And quite frankly, after listening to the in-car camera this past weekend between Kyle Busch and his team, it looks like Kyle Busch is mentally checked out of RCR.
Yeah.
It mentally, yeah. And that's not a good look. That's not a good look, folks. But yeah, in regards to that, yeah, I mean, Cletus McFarland, he's going to be going over to RCR in the O'Reilly Auto Parts series. Let's get to some other news that hit from jski.com as we were on air. And again, if you're tuning in live, feel free, Blown Engine chat line wide open. Feel free to, comment your opinions about Cletus McFarland. Phoenix, obviously the IndyCar race weekend. We got so many topics on the board. Feel free to chime in as well. So other news, Jake from jski.com. Follow them on Facebook, X, or by web, www.jski.com. WWE superstar Tiffany Stratton. She's going to be the pace car driver at Vegas this weekend. And then for the Goodyear 400 next weekend at Darlington, it was officially announced that Kurt Busch and Harry Gant, Hall of Fame NASCAR drivers, they'll be the grand marshals for the race at Darlington next weekend. So a couple other articles that came out from jski.com. Again, follow them on X, web, or Facebook at www.jski.com. But all right. How do we want to open up Phoenix, Jake? How do we want to open up this? Yeah, why not?
It's a Phoenix question. I guess for everybody who's listening, all of them are Phoenix questions, but
and real quick, Jake, before we do the question, again, for everyone who's been listening to us live the last couple weeks, we begin now Broken Wheel Bearing Podcast koozies. So we're going to be doing questions to our audience tonight as well. For koozies, feel free to chime in on the Blown Engine chat line when you have an answer. How you win a koozie? First one to answer the question correct ends up winning a koozie, and we'll contact you at the end of the show tonight.
All right, so first question we'll start with tonight. Who has the most wins at Phoenix? Pretty basic, short question. Mm-hmm. Who has the most wins at Phoenix?
Most wins at Phoenix. That's a great question, by the way.
Yeah, no, I like it.
There was so, you know what it was? There's so many drivers who ended up winning a lot of races at Phoenix, right? I feel like Phoenix, I guess that's how we're going to open up tonight's show, right? Let's talk about Phoenix. I feel like when I look at Phoenix as a race, there are multiple drivers that have figured out that track. And when they figure that track out, they are legitimately unstoppable at that track, right? We saw it this past weekend with Christopher Bell. We saw it with the race winner, right? Ryan Blaney. Ryan Blaney has won 2 straight races at Phoenix. He won the season finale last year. He's won the first race at Phoenix this year. Ryan Blaney is very good there. Christopher Bell is very good there as well. Over the last couple of years, he's picked off multiple wins at Phoenix. I feel like Phoenix, again, it is a track that if you understand how it's ran, you straight up are nearly impossible to stop.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of going back to that question, when we get an answer from somebody, we'll definitely talk about that driver, because that driver, to give you a hint, also had 9 wins at Phoenix. 9 in his career. Dale Jr. That's another one. Dale Jr. really figured out how to run Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
Dale Jr.'s got multiple wins at Phoenix. 2003, 2004, and if I'm not mistaken, 2014.
Yeah.
Or 2015. 2015. I'm sorry, 2015. Phoenix is a unique track. And I will say, after watching all the races this past weekend, I thought that they put on a hell of a performance. And I'm not going to talk about Indy because that's not our forte, but the Indy race was really good.
Yeah.
ARCA was great Thursday night. The O'Reilly Auto Parts Series has been fantastic over the last couple of weeks, and they did not disappoint the other night. One takeaway from me, and for everyone who's been listening to this podcast for a very long time, I am a massive Jesse Love fan. He's one of my favorite prospects in the series in NASCAR. And dude, legitimately, I mean, he was nearly unbeatable the other night.
Yeah.
And then an unfortunate mistake ended up Justin Allgaier. And I love Jesse Love's attitude at the end of the race. They asked him, they're like, you know, you got the points and all that. He's like, I'm not racing for points. I'm racing for wins. If I was racing for points, this would be a great day, but I'm not racing for points. I'm racing for wins. I love the attitude. I love the attitude from the young driver. He's going to, like I said, he's going to be special in the near future.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure.
But but yeah, I mean, in regards to Phoenix, though, like even Sunday, I want to apologize to our fans because I definitely, posted something prematurely on our Facebook page, and I said tires were an absolute embarrassment today at Phoenix. Yeah, I did not mean the tires itself were an embarrassment. I was getting really sick and tired of the cautions that came with it.
Yeah.
And it's going to be hypocritical to say this, Jake, because when I look at what Phoenix is, like, listen, you got to manage your tires at that track now.
Mm-hmm.
You have to manage the tires. And especially with the 750 package, right? This car slides.
I saw it all day.
All day. I will say, I mean, and I think a lot of these drivers kind of learned this past weekend. And like I said, I prematurely stated that the tire wear was absolutely an embarrassment because, quite frankly, it wasn't. As a strategy and analytics guy, I think it was perfect. I was just getting really sick and tired of the cautions. But unfortunately, when people don't manage their tires, Jake, guess what happens? There's going to be cautions.
Cautions, yep.
There's going to be cautions.
Big wrecks, too, this weekend, too.
Massive wrecks. Massive wrecks. Well, in your mind, what was the biggest wreck from this past weekend on Sunday?
Logano.
Yeah, I mean, Cindric.
Cindric was bad, but then Logano getting crushed.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, karma's a bitch.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Logano in a little bit. Yeah, I mean, Cindric, to me, he took a massive hit.
Yeah.
And I was like, that happened at Phoenix? Because it was nearly like the physics didn't make any sense.
No.
But again, though, it started with his teammate, Joey Logano. And we're going to talk about Logano because you guys are going to hear us go off on Joey Logano later in this show, as promised, because I am getting really sick and tired of when Joey Logano does something, it's excused, never really does any. No, we're going to go off on him in a second. Jake, topic number 1 for me coming out of Phoenix. Let's talk about Ryan Blaney.
Yeah, huge Sunday for him to hold off C-Bell with 4 fresh and held him back long enough to. Yeah, was it Ryan Blaney? It's like you said, it's fantastic at this track. He knows what lines he needs to race and ride on at certain points during the race. At the end, he manages. I would say he's probably one of the best, if not the best, at managing tires on this track. And you've seen it every time we've come here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it was just an all-around phenomenal race. He dominated it, I would say. I mean, Christopher Bell, I think, was the best car on the track and the fastest car. But Ryan Blaney, I mean, the victory speaks for itself.
Yeah, and where I kind of go with you, kind of going off your opinion, or that point you just made about Ryan Blaney and why I think Ryan Blaney was more dominant than Christopher Bell on Sunday. Ryan Blaney's had multiple pit road issues on Sunday and had to come from the back multiple times. He ended up winning stage one. He ended up collecting 65 points. I mean, wins are huge, by the way. I keep looking at like, the final scorebook, like from NASCAR.com, and like I keep looking at these points, and it's like, damn, it's like these wins. Like I love it because I think wins are so critical in the sport. Like, and I get it. If you have a bad day, hey, chalk it up, whatever. But like, winning means everything. But it's like 65 points. I mean, he led 28 laps. To me, Ryan Blaney, yes, led 28 laps, but I think that he could have led so many more laps if the team on pit road just did not continue screwing him up.
Yep.
And listen, Jonathan Hassler, one of the more innovative minds in NASCAR on the pit box, he took a gamble. He went with 2 tires. Christopher Bell went with 4. What does that sound like to you? Last year's championship race.
Yeah.
Last year's championship race. I mean, it's crazy because you had teams all throughout the race not come down for tires. You had teams like do the 0 tire strategy or 2 tire strategy, and it sank them the whole day. But then at the end of the race, the last 2 years, you had a team pull off 2 tires, and guess what happens? There they are in victory lane. Great move by Jonathan Hassler and Ryan Blaney. They knew for a fact they weren't going to get around Christopher Bell. They had to do something.
Yeah.
And again, what's the motto? You have to do opposite of the leader. Ryan Blaney and Jonathan Hassler definitely did that this week. But again, though, like when I look at Ryan Blaney, I mean, he in this next gen car, I mean, he's very dangerous.
Yes.
Very dangerous at Phoenix. I mean, he's on a 2 race winning streak at Phoenix.
Picked up his 18th career win.
Yep.
Join names of some pretty big name NASCAR drivers, and that number is going to keep going up.
It's crazy when they said that about Ryan Blaney, though, like how many wins he's got. I mean, it's incredible to think that he's only got that many wins. It always seems like they're always talking about him in the lead. They're always talking about him like leading laps, always being in the front, Team Penske. And like I said, he's only got 18 career wins, and it's like, man, it feels like it's so many more because that 12 team is always there. But that pit crew again, and like, I don't know any team in NASCAR that has a worse pit crew than Ryan Blaney. They make mistakes left and right, and it's very frustrating. And I know we'll have fans argue with me about it. No, like I can show you a whole highlight reel of how many times that his crew screws up in pit road.
Yeah.
And to me, it's like, yeah, he's got 18 wins, but at the same time, it's like that feels like it should be so much more. But
it should.
Yeah, but hey,
last year he didn't have that great of a year. How many DNFs did he have total?
Yeah, he led the series in DNFs.
Yeah, last year, like that was a fluke year to be talking about Ryan Blaney. Like he wasn't really even talked about really that much. But then this year, I mean, I think he got a stronghold for a pretty early favorite in the season. There's still 32 races left, but early championship front runner right here. And it showed on Sunday. I mean, the guy is really good at these short tracks. And there's a lot more short tracks than there are bigger ones.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan Blaney, when we talk about the driver of the 12, I mean, he's got some tracks coming up that, I mean, he's very good at. And a lot of unfortunate situations have occurred. I look at a track like Darlington in 2 weeks, right? Last year in the throwback weekend, Ryan Blaney ran down William Byron. He did. And then all of a sudden a caution comes out and then he loses the race to Denny Hamlin. Martinsville's coming up. I mean, there is Talladega, another track that Ryan Blaney is really good. So, yeah, I mean, Blaney at this point, I mean, he, after the win on Sunday, he's now jumped to second in the points. He's still 60 behind Tyler Reddick. But for right now, it's going to be difficult to catch. It's going to be difficult to catch Reddick. I mean, 3 straight wins, but everything couldn't balance itself out. The other thing, final point about Ryan Blaney, why I like this win for Blaney in this spot, it's an early season win.
Yes.
So they can sit there and they can review the data, they can review everything, and they can review all the data in the tape without being penalized
Yeah.
by not winning the race. So he's won a race. We should be good. But yeah, I mean, great win by Ryan Blaney, though.
Yep.
All right. Jake, let's talk about driver number 2 this week coming out of Phoenix. And that was the driver that Ryan Blaney ended up beating. And that was Christopher Bell. 176 laps led. As I said before, we talked about Ryan Blaney. There's drivers that understand and they grasp this opportunity at this track. And when they understand how to run the perfect lines, they understand that they have to manage tire wear, all that good stuff. These drivers become very impossible to beat at Phoenix. Christopher Bell's one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to be honest, it sucks because that late caution doesn't come out. Christopher Bell is in victory lane, and we're talking about Toyota on a 4-race winning streak.
Yeah, I mean, I think Ryan Blaney owes a huge big thank you to fucking Ty Gibbs for holding C Bell off that far for that long. I think if Bell gets around Gibbs, I can also agree with that. We're talking about a different winner.
Yeah. I mean, don't look now, but Christopher Bell started off horrendous. Right, Daytona, he ended up getting wrecked. Atlanta, he ended up getting wrecked by Hocevar. And then we go to Coda. He has a good week last weekend. Finishes in the top 5. And then this weekend, he finished second. Christopher Bell, over the last 2 weeks now, has climbed 18 spots in the points. He sits 6th. that 20 car, if, again, early season, flukes, I like what I see from Christopher Bell. I do, and I think it's going to continuously get better and better and better each and every single week. I mean, this is a driver, from my personal take, this is a driver that I literally believe is getting into that next level of his career.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, he's been in multiple championship 4s at this point, not come away as a champion. I can never count out Christopher Bell, and even as an early season, terrible start in the early seasons with Atlanta and Daytona. Guess what happens? He flips the script. He's now plus 18. And this past weekend, like I said, it just sucks because I was very close to writing to all you here, oh man, another Christopher Bell dominant win at Phoenix. Another Bell dominant win at Phoenix. But unfortunately, a caution, the strategy, they went with 4 tires. Blaney went with 2. Blaney ends up hopping them. And like you said, Ty Gibbs, he had to race Ty Gibbs for multiple laps.
Mm-hmm.
And
he also had to get around Larson, which he got around him actually pretty quick.
Yeah, he had to get around Larson. He had to race multiple laps to get around Ty Gibbs. I will say, if that race goes probably 2 more laps, I mean, Bell definitely gets him.
Oh, dude, look how much he cut down. Like lap had, like they were saying, like, oh, this lap he didn't catch much, and then boom, the next lap it's like 0.18, and it's like 0.27. It's like, holy shit, he's catching him. Like you just said, 2 or 3 more laps, he's going right around.
Yeah.
And C Bell had the tires and make aggressive lines. He could race wherever he wanted on that track to try to get as close as he could to Blaney.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and like I said, at the end when the checker flag flew, I mean, Bell was right there. I mean, he really was. I mean, now granted, like, yeah, shoulda, woulda, coulda. If there was 2 more laps, yeah, he probably would have caught it, but there wasn't.
Nope.
It wasn't. 312 laps. They made the distance, and guess what happened? Boom. Bell and your Bell just comes up just short. But like I said, I'm really liking what I see out of the 20 team. I'm really interested to see what's happening. As multiple drivers have said, once we get past Coda, the real season starts. Maybe this might be the time to shine for Christopher Bell. So.
Yeah. I mean, dude, even a lot of these guys that finished in the top 10 now, I'm looking at it. I mean, I got to give a shout out to Larson. Like, I usually don't, but the guy fell to the back right away. You and me were texting what the fuck's going on with this Chevy car. There's like no Chevys up front.
Yeah, continue your point. I want to go kind of brief back on that.
And you're talking about C Bell, who moved up, what'd you say, 18 positions in the points?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, after Daytona, Larson was 27th. He's 10th.
Yep.
I mean, that's another guy that, the first 2-3 races, meh. Once you get to these short tracks where these boys know how to race their best, you're going to see these guys jump to the top of the points. But, yeah, I mean, Larson was all the way in the back, started second, all the way in the back, and then I think a few good pit strategies helped him get up front there as well, but he started racing pretty good at the end, but he was nowhere like Christopher Bell went around him like he was sitting still.
Yeah, and I'm like one of my biggest takeaways is I'm concerned to see what Chevrolet is right now.
Yeah.
And I think that I may have jumped the gun a little bit with like Chase Elliott and all that early parts of the season, but I am very concerned with what we saw from Phoenix.
I think this week we're going to get a big answer because
This is,
Chevys
I
dominate
agree. I
at
agree.
Vegas. It's usually Chevy. So
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I mean, Chevrolet is, and like I don't need Kyle Larson to go lead 267 laps for me to deem Chevrolet is back. But the multiple top, like the best Chevrolet drivers at Vegas are who? Kyle Larson, Ross Chastain,
Mhm.
and what we saw from Phoenix is kind of a concern for myself. And the reason why I say that, one, Chevrolet changed their body style coming out of the 2025 season, right? Because the Camaro ended up getting discontinued from GM. So they ended up creating this new body. Here's the second thing. Those cars ended up going to a 750 package. So not just are they trying to learn the 750 package with a new body, you know, it's going to be a tough sled. I mean, it's just going to be.
yeah, I mean, if you look at a picture side by side, if people are wondering what we're talking about, the car does the look of the car doesn't look that different,
No.
but its aerodynamics is different.
And again, with the 750 package, with the more horsepower,
The aerodynamics is different on these cars. These cars don't look different when you look at them side by side. I mean, there's some of the wrap that looks different, but the aerodynamics on these cars is the biggest thing. And dude, like when I was texting you on Sunday, I was like, "Fucking hey, man! Like where the fuck are these Chevys at?"
yep.
And luckily, at the end of the race, I mean, you did see some come up, and we got a top 5 out of it for a Chevy. But yeah, that was very concerning. I know you were concerned too, and like I said, I think this week is going to be.
This week's going to be a big test for Chevrolet. It's going to be. It has to be because what we saw the first 3 weeks, super speedway, and then what we saw at Coda, a lot of fans are chalking it up. Well, man, it's a road course, yada, yada, yada. But it's interesting because when you replay what happened at Coda, what happened with SVG with his tires?
Yeah.
What happened? So that's where I'm like starting to kind of circle. It's like, maybe Chevrolet might have an issue. It feels reminiscent of 2018.
Mm-hmm.
Chevrolet went from the Impala, they went to the Camaro body style in 2018. They struggled.
Yeah.
They absolutely struggled. And that's what my biggest concern with Chevrolet right now. Now, granted, at the end of this race, right, Kyle Larson ended up finishing 3rd, Chevrolet. William Byron ended up finishing 7th. That's a Chevrolet. And Michael McDowell finished in 9th. That's a Chevrolet. So they ended up balancing themselves out, but they just never looked like a true threat whatsoever in this race. It looked like they got blown the doors off by Ford and Toyota. Yeah. And I know we have fans I was talking to as well. And it's like, yeah, they don't look like they had the speed. They don't look like they had the aerodynamics to keep up with with the Toyotas and Fords.
Yeah, no, couldn't have said it better.
I mean, one driver that I'm very concerned about was this past weekend. And granted, great drivers just have bad days, and that's why I'm chalking it up at. But like a guy like Chase Elliott.
Yeah.
Chase Elliott finished 23rd. And granted, he had multiple issues on the race and on the track as well. But the problem is that like he kind of set himself up for failure. And it all started on Saturday. Because I'm like, man, the Nines qualifying well to start the season off at Daytona. They won the duel. They qualified in the top 5 at Coda. I don't count qualifying at Atlanta because it got rained out. But my problem I have with Chase Elliott is the first time they went on a track that was not a road course or a super speedway, ends up qualifying 25th. No speed whatsoever.
A place that he's usually not that bad at.
No, and he's really starting to tank there.
Yeah.
I mean, the last couple of years, he's been having a lot of issues at Phoenix. And like I said, the 750 package really made this race pretty interesting, obviously on a tire perspective, but it's also managing the race within itself because these cars were sliding. I mean, look at Chase Briscoe, right? That's Toyota. Chase Briscoe ended up sliding and like nailed the wall.
Yeah. Didn't just touch it.
Right now, man, I mean, I know we're going off topic from the Chevrolets. God, I mean, Chase Briscoe is off to a bad start. He's off to
Considering
a
what
bad.
we saw last year.
I mean, he's sitting 33rd in the points right now.
Yeah, it's bad. I don't see him. I see him slowly climbing. But dude, it's like you said with the new point system, it ain't gonna be that easy.
No, it's not. I mean, DNFs are gonna kill you.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, right now Briscoe has two DNFs, which is tied with Todd Gilliland, Austin Dillon, Austin Cindric, Josh Berry, Connor Zillage. Yeah. But at the same time, though, like I said, going back to the Chevrolet, so yeah, I mean, this weekend's going to be a massive test at Vegas because if we start having issues with our cars, such as Kyle Larson, Ross Chastain, and William Byron at Vegas, yeah, it might take Chevrolet a couple more weeks to get moving again on these intermediate tracks. To figure out the body style, the aerodynamics, and the 750 package.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
Jake, I want to talk to you. How about a driver that you felt was a big surprise this past weekend?
Big surprise. SVG again. Minus him, Michael McDowell. Race pretty good.
McDowell had a great day. Finished 9th. SVG finished 11th.
There was another guy. Let me pull my stuff back up here. Sorry.
Actually, while you're pulling that up, for our fans, SVG actually led Trackhouse Racing in the highest finish on Sunday.
That's who it was. Eric Jones.
Yeah, Eric Jones. I don't know how. I mean, did he backdoor into that top 10? Like, I feel like Eric Jones was nowhere to be found the whole race.
Yeah. And then I saw him finish. I'm like,
yeah, finished 10th, and I'm like, Eric Jones. I'm like, it's crazy. I like Eric Jones a lot as a driver. I just. I feel like his career is dwindling at this point in front of our eyes.
Yeah.
And it's starting to, I really do feel like that Eric Jones might be out of NASCAR within the next couple of years, or the Cup Series at least. He might be down the Xfinity or all that type of stuff. And a lot of people are going to be like, well, Legacy's not there to compete. But at the same time, like, I mean, this is year what with Legacy for him? He got signed in 2021. I mean, he won the Southern 500 in 2022. We all thought that he was actually going to take the next step. And then the last multiple years has just been atrocious by Eric Jones.
Yeah. No. Couldn't say the best. I am a fan of him, though. I do like Eric Jones.
Yeah, I like Eric Jones a lot. But, yeah, I mean, shout out to him. Big top 10 this week. And, look, we always talk about NASCAR. NASCAR's a momentum sport. Mm-hmm. It's a momentum sport. And sometimes – when you're struggling, the best thing that could happen is that you just get the momentum and you could pick up momentum and continue moving forward. Now, I don't know what to expect from Eric Jones moving forward. I'm not saying this top 10 is going to equate for 5 wins this year. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not even saying that's going to equate to a win. But is it finally like, hey, we finally saw this car in the top 10. Can we finally get this car continuously in the top 10, right? And kind of going back to Legacy in a nutshell, I've been massively disappointed with Legacy since Jimmy Johnson bought the team.
Oh, yeah.
I've been massively disappointed in them. And I think John Hunter Nemechek is a great driver. I think John Hunter Nemechek has potential. I also thought Eric Jones had potential. Legacy Motor Club invests so much in analytics. And they have a lot of executives that were former Cup champions. Jimmy Johnson, Matt Kenseth. I expect a lot more from this organization. And it's just like, okay, we're now year 5, year 6 with them. And I feel like they're just there.
Yeah.
I feel like they're just there. I mean, maybe a top 10 now. John Hunter Nemechek is very oddly, suspiciously great at Bristol. So we might see him at Bristol.
Yeah. No, I just feel like, and I feel like their cars are just always in the back.
Yeah, same. I feel like their cars are always in the back. And like even on super speedways, like I mean they're competitive on super speedways.
Oh yeah.
But outside that, it's just like, man, it's like, come on, guys, like get this shit together. I mean, this is year 5. You guys invest a lot of money into this, and I know that Jimmy's got a lot of stuff going on and all that, but yeah, it was good to see Eric Jones in the top 10. But I want to go back to the driver you said, SVG, and I know a lot of people are very, very upset that Fox continues talking about SVG, all this type of stuff. What SVG has done so far to open up the 2026 Cup Series, what was the biggest question going into the offseason?
Ovals.
Is he going to be better on the ovals?
Yeah.
Is he going to be better on the ovals?
proving everybody wrong because everybody said no. I
mean,
was the one who said no.
Jake, I mean, he spun out twice at Phoenix, and that's a very difficult track to like get yourself back into an 11th place finish after you spin out twice. He spun out twice at Atlanta. He had issues and it's just like he's continuously getting better. Now he's a fast learner. I will say that. He's a very fast learner. That's what a lot of people within the garage said. SVG is a very fast learner. He wants to be elite. He doesn't want to be a guy that's just a cameo, come over to NASCAR, run this out into the rest of his life and just call it a day. He wants to be the best. And I got to give a lot of credit to SVG right now to start the season. Now we're only 4 weeks into it. But I'm going to say that for right now, he kind of is checking the boxes.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's no question it's the best start of the season for him.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he even at the 500, I know he finished 30th, but at the 500, veteran drivers were very lenient to draft with him, which is something that they didn't do a couple years ago. Atlanta, like I say, finished 6th in that race. He spun out multiple times. Thank you, Kyle Larson. But then, all right, Coda, we expected him to be a top 5 car. So he ended up finishing 2nd. That's not a surprise at all. But then this week, he follows it up with an 11th place at Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
After spinning out twice. And look, I mean, his teammates, now Chastain we'll talk about in a second, because I think Chastain's going to get a lot of heat. Chastain's tanking and falling in the standings, by the way. But Connor Zilic ended up finishing 29th in this race. That is my team right now that I'm probably the most disappointed in. Now, granted, I said in the regular season, I said this in the offseason, pump the brakes on Connor Zilic because the learning curve from O'Reilly Auto Parts to the Cup Series is massive. And we've seen a lot of these drivers try to make that cut. Look at Joey Logano. Joey Logano came in at 19 years old. Logano struggled and ended up losing his ride at Joe Gibbs Racing, ended up going to Team Penske, became Joey Logano. But Connor Zilic, yes, the first 4 weeks have absolutely been atrocious, but this is why I said pump the brakes. A lot of insiders had him win 6 races to start the season, not to start, but 6 races to win this year. I had him at maybe 1.
Yeah, that's and dude, he's been up front in races this year. He's been up there. There has been some points that it's like, okay, yeah, the finishes don't talk for it, but look where he's at middle of the race. Like he marches past cars slowly. Like they said his name a lot, and I get it because he's the new kid on the block. But still, there's been positive moments so far this year for him, which is good.
Yeah, and again though, but it's the learning curve, right? Like this is what we look. I thought Noah Gragson was going to be a very good driver at the Cup Series, right? I thought he was going to be a really good driver at the Cup Series. Yeah. Not saying he was going to win championships and races, but I did not expect what I'm seeing out. No, Gragson might be out of the seat next year.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's a shame, but yeah. In regards to SVG, though, I mean, it's been a nice little surprise to start the season off. But here we go. Right, we are now right in the midst of all these intermediates. We got Vegas, we got Darlington, we got Martinsville, we got Bristol, we got Kansas, and Talladega coming up. Oh, and then after Talladega, we got Texas. So with Shane Van Gisbergen, yes, it's been a great start to start off the season with the 4 races. He sits 5th in the points, by the way. But at the same time, like I need to see more. And at the once we're done with Texas, when you and I are talking after Texas, and he's continuing putting up these results, yeah, the box might be checked. Yeah. It might be checked. But yeah, very nice start for SVG this year. I know a lot of people sometimes get annoyed with SVG, but I gotta give roses credit to where credit's due, dude.
100%. Dude, he's. I wasn't a SVG believer.
No. I like the story. I like the story when he came over from Chicago Street Course. But like I said, I want to see the guy successful. I really do. I like Trackhouse Racing a lot. But speaking of Trackhouse Racing, let's get to this segment. We promised you we're going to deliver. And again, Blood Engine chat line wide open. You're listening to us live. Feel free to chime in. This segment's going to get hot and spicy. Joey Logano. Joey Logano caused multiple wrecks on Sunday. Eventually got himself involved in one. Not saying I wanted to see it. But what are you doing with Ross Chastain?
Yeah.
What are you doing with Ross Chastain?
I don't even have words to describe it, dude. It's just like Well, I think of one word: idiotic.
Yeah, and it's like also like there's you knew like you were hooked to Ross Chastain's bumper. You were. And he's like, well, when I saw this happening, I didn't mean to do it and all that type of stuff. Joey, I have an 18-minute highlight reel of you saying, I didn't mean to do this, but if someone else does that to you, there's a discussion at pit road, right? Him and Hamlin down in Martinsville, short track racing, right? Like this Joey Logano in a nutshell. Like, again, he struck again. And then I got Kevin Harvick in the booth trying to calm the audience down. Oh, this is untypical of Joey Logano. Or untypical, Kevin. Do you want to pull up the highlight reel of your former boss when Stewart wanted to knock the kid out? What about Denny Hamlin down in California? Hamlin's back broke. Short track racing in Martinsville. There are so many highlights that literally Joey Logano does this all the time. He knew what he was doing. He was trying to get it. He got irritated with Ross Chastain. He ended up sliding Chastain. He took out his teammate too while we were at it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that was the most bonehead fucking thing I've ever seen. I mean, I couldn't even say ever seen out Joey Logano because I've seen some fucking shit that he's done. It's like your jaw just hits the ground. Like, this dude's a NASCAR Cup champion multiple times, and
3
you drive
times,
around.
by the way.
Yeah,
3
times, and you hit you hit the nail right on the head. If when it happens to him, it's I'm getting your fucking I'm pulling your fucking neck down for you on pit road. I'm gonna start fucking screaming at you.
Yeah, I mean, William.
He's an arrogant. He's fucking arrogant, is what he is when it comes to shit like this.
Yeah,
I like Joey Logano because he's an aggressive racer. He's a really good racer. He's a good racer for this sport. But when he does shit like this, it pisses me off because he's the one who's crying when it happens to him. That's the easiest way you can say it. You already said it, but that's the only way you can really say it.
Well, and it is frustrating. And like I said, you got Harvick in the booth sitting there saying, so it's untypical of Joey. It's like, what are you talking about? Untypical of Joey. I mean, like I said, I gave you 3 examples there, and there's many more. Matt Kenseth at Kansas, which Kenseth retaliated.
Loved it.
At Martinsville. Knocked him right out of the race. Right? What else? Oh, William Byron at Darlington 2022. Ends up running in the back. It's like, I'm tired of everyone making an excuse for Joey Logano. Yes, is Logano one of the best drivers in the sport? Hands down, he is. But at the same time, what's very irritating and frustrating, it's like all this defense of, well, that doesn't really seem like Joey. Are you nuts? This is so typical Joey Logano. Him and Chastain had beef from last year. And like, yeah, he's going to play it off. Well, I didn't really mean to do this and all that type of stuff. No, you did, because you had an issue with him from a race last year. I can't remember which one it was. And like I said, I'm tired of the boots sitting there defending him. Like, it's so untypical of Joey. No, like, it is so typical of Joey. Again, you can go on YouTube right now. One of our providers, by the way. You can go on YouTube right now and watch an 18-minute highlight reel of every idiotic move that Joey Logano did that's similar to Ross Chastain.
Yep. It's facts. I mean, people can get upset. It's not even talking shit. It's facts.
Yeah. No, and I get it. Our Logano fans get upset when I do this, but it's like, come on, like, that he does this. Like, I'm not saying he does it unintentional and all that, but this is the problem with his aggressiveness, and this has always been his problem as a driver all throughout his career. He gets way too aggressive, and that's fine. But at the same time, like, you're going to get retaliated against. But then, like, when they retaliate against you, you're going to throw a temper tantrum.
Yeah.
Let's go to the Blunt End chat line. We got Roger is checking in with us. Roger, thanks for taking time out. He goes, Joey takes everyone out and calls foul like he's LeBron James. I would love that. I absolutely
couldn't have said it better myself.
That's a great that's probably the message of the week.
Yes.
I love that one a lot. But no, it's totally correct, right?
Yep.
He'll do, and again, it irritates me that they defend it. It's like, guys, we have seen this over his career multiple times. I mean, at one point, Denny Hamlin wouldn't even talk to him because he broke his back. Like, come on. Jake, let's that's enough of Joey Logano because it's going to irritate me. But let's get to our crew chief view for our last segment. Talk about Phoenix with all of you. Again, Blunt End chat line wide open. Feel free to comment. We've got so many topics on the board with all of you. Our crew chief's view this week, and I wanted to point this one out. Like I said, it's a new segment for us. We're going to do it every single week during the race, something that pops like to our eye. And this week I'm going to talk about the RFK cars of Brad Keselowski and Ryan Preece. So 20 laps to go in stage 2. The whole field ends up hitting. And Brad Keselowski and Ryan Preece end up staying out on the track. Old tires compared to new tires in the whole entire field. Now, I'm not saying what RFK did was wrong because they were managing the tires. You only have a certain amount of sets of tires, so they're probably looking at long term for more cautions to try to jump the field. I just think for me, and this is why I'm on a podcast, not on pit road, I think that move was a little premature in the race. And the reason why is because what happened after the green flag dropped? Both those cars fell like rocks. Oh, in the back of the pack. Now, granted, they all got back on the same strategy of tires at the end of it. But at the same time, I think for that move to happen that early in the race, maybe they're trying something out, trying to save a pair of tires. I did not like the call. I really didn't. And honestly, it did cost, I mean, I don't want to say it cost them bad finishes because Preece ended up finishing 13th, Brad ended up finishing 15th. But I feel like if they end up taking the sticker tires at that point, those finishes are a little bit better in that race.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, I think it was a too early of a move, especially at Phoenix, where if you're going to start in the front with tires you're going to fall. I mean, I think, like you said, are you hoping for a caution? Because of kind of how that day was going with the tires and blowouts, and every time there was a blowout, cars were getting absolutely smashed. Maybe, but yeah, no, I agree with you on that. I like that for the crew chief for this week.
Yeah, like I said, I think it was a little too early in the race at that point. 20 laps to go in stage 2. I would have, in my personal opinion, I would have put the 4 tires on, probably salvage your day to a better finish. Because like I said, once that green flag dropped, the field just moved Preece and Keselowski out of the way. They both sank and were pretty much running at 30th and 31st at the time. But then, like, I see a driver like Chase Elliott, right? Chase Elliott and Josh Berry they were down a pair of sticker tires. After a caution, they didn't come down pit road. The whole field did. And guess what happened? Both of them flew backwards.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'll give it, yeah.
Go ahead.
I'll give an honorable mention to the 12 team as well for not taking tires on that last run to start out front. And luckily, Bell started 4th. I'm sorry, 5th.
Mm-hmm.
So he had guys to block for him. So I'll give an honor mention for the 12 team for that. It's a bold strategy and it's a very risky strategy. That 20 car gets around those cars a lot faster, but it worked out in their favor.
Yeah, and like I said, I guess kind of recapping all of our topics from tonight, very reminiscent of last year's championship race at Phoenix, right? You had Hamlin on that final caution, comes down for 4. Everyone else comes down for 2. He ends up restarting in 10th, ends up losing the race, loses the championship, similar to Bell this week, right? He comes down, he gets 4. The 4 drivers ahead of him ends up getting 2. There's just too late to get in past these cars.
Yeah, I just wonder now that you see it 2 races in a row at Phoenix, that tire strategy was basically how you want to race. I wonder what it's like when we go back. You know what I mean? How do teams? Teams are going to. It just happened 2 times in a row. The last 2 times you were there.
Well, the nice thing I like about Phoenix not being the champion, I like how Phoenix not the championship race anymore. I do. I think that it's a very unique track within itself. I'm happy that they took it off of the championship race weekend. Now, granted, after 2027, I think NASCAR's rotating the championship race, so Phoenix may be back on the docket. Don't know. But that's years from now. I like how they're not the championship race because, again, it's unique, and I do think that tires are a massive factor.
Yeah.
It's a massive factor at Phoenix.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
All right. So that's going to take us to our green and white checker tonight on Phoenix, Jake. And let's take a look at our race review at Vegas this week.
Okay.
So in the off season, you and I, we both chose Kyle Larson. With what we saw from Chevrolet this past weekend, are we staying with Kyle Larson?
I'm staying with Larson because of how he came back on Sunday. This guy fucking dominates. This guy leads the most. This guy's led the most laps at this freaking racetrack. It's kind of hard not to pick him.
since the start of the 2023 season. He's led 35.4% of the races
Like that's
at
crazy.
Vegas. Yeah, that's a lot of laps. That car's in the front a lot. No, I think that I agree with you. I'm staying with Larson myself. And do I think that Chevrolet has a little bit of an issue right now with the aerodynamics? I'm sure they do. They're going to figure it out. May take a couple weeks, but this week is a very, very good telling point of where Chevrolet's at compared to Toyota and Ford. Because what I saw the first race on an intermediate from this season, Chevrolet's behind both Ford and Toyota because of the new body and also the 750 package.
Yeah.
But if there's any week to not count out a Chevrolet, it's definitely this week with Kyle Larson. So I like Kyle Larson as well. I'm going to stick with Kyle Larson. So you and I both go Larson. Let's go with driver ones to watch.
One to watch. I'm actually for one to watch. I hate to say because we just fucking bashed him, but Joey Logano. He's my one to watch.
Oh, I can't go that route with you.
He's got a win here. He's got 3 top 10s, 1 top 5. I mean, he's not horrible here.
No, I mean he won that playoff race back in 2024 that really kind of catapulted him into the championship in 2024. It's a good driver at this track. It's the Pennzoil 400. He always talks about because Pennzoil is his main sponsor. It's a very big day for everybody at Pennzoil. He even said after he won here, I think in 2020, he said he's like, I like coming to Vegas because I want to win this because it's for my sponsor. So I mean, Joey Logano 13.2 average finish according to DriverAverage.com. In 6 races since the start of 2023, he's got 1 win, 1 top 5, and 3 top 10s. 3.6% of the laps led. So the one for me that I'm going to watch is Ross Chastain.
Yeah.
Chastain has the second highest average finish among active drivers at Vegas with the 9.3 since the start of 2023, with 3 top 5s, 4 top 10s. He's only led 1.1% of the laps, though. That's where I'm a little disappointed. And I feel like we're so far removed from what he did back in 2022 in the spring race, where he led a bunch of laps. But Chastain's got a high average finish. And like I said, this is going to be a big telling week for Chevrolet, so I'm kind of loading up my Chevrolets this week.
Okay.
So I'm going to Larson, I'm going to Chastain, you're going Larson, Logano, and how about a dark horse for you?
I'll do Brad K.
Brad K?
Because he looked good here in the spring race last year.
Mm-hmm.
That was when he's on a little hot streak after, like with Iowa and all them. So I'll do Brad K.
Brad K. It's not a bad pick. I'm actually going to go Daniel Suarez. Suarez got a 10.2 average finish. Now, granted, a lot of these races were with Trackhouse equipment, so I don't know what Spire really is. They qualified very well, by the way, at Phoenix. They just struggled. Yeah. Actually, Suarez was good in the first quarter of that race. He just ended up getting caused in a couple wrecks.
Yeah.
But
man, you are going all Chevy this week, aren't you?
I'm going all Chevrolet. So this is the week that I'm like, Chevrolet's got to come and legitimately perform because I'm picking 3 Chevrolet drivers.
So don't pick Chevy.
Yeah, don't.
If you're gambling this weekend.
No. Yeah, pick Denny Hamlin, Christopher Bell, Tyler Wright. Pick one of those guys. But yeah, like I said, Suarez, Spire's interesting because they qualified very well at Phoenix last week. And I'm like, can this be sustainable?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's interesting because Suarez right now has kind of been a nice little surprise to the season, in my personal opinion. Now, granted, after his DNF this past weekend, he dropped 10 spots in the points. But he's been off to a relatively interesting start.
Yeah. I mean, it does make – it's kind of like what we talked about in our pre-season episode, like – what's Daniel Suarez going to do? Is he going to prove Trackhouse wrong that you got rid of the wrong guy? Was he the problem? And I mean, so far the start of the season, I mean, he would be the second best driver on that team right now if he was still there.
Yeah, it sucks because I just don't think there was a shot in hell they were going to let Zillage walk and keep Suarez, you know?
No, but I think it's a proving point for Suarez for sure. I guarantee you that's what his whole – I mean, not his whole, but he definitely wants to prove them wrong.
Yeah, and like I said, I feel like Spire's just so close to like breaking out.
Yeah,
I really do. I feel like they're just very close to doing something where it's like, wow, they finally ended up in Victory Lane, or like now I know Haley won a couple years ago, but like consistently in the Victory Lane or top fives, top tens. I feel like Spire is like right there.
Yeah, I think they are too.
Also, before we head off, Jake, can we talk about this point real quick about Carson Hocevar? Can the Fox broadcast booth stop calling him the Hurricane?
Yeah, no, it's over. It was funny the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Just repetitive at this point. Like,
very repetitive. It's
you
kind
don't
of
usually get a fucking nickname in this sport.
until you win.
Yeah, and are consistently good and not do good and then see in 5 races and then be good again.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm kind of tired of nicknames that are manufactured.
Yeah,
And again, like I said, Hocevar,
earned.
yes. Yeah, bingo. I mean, I get it. Hocevar's exciting. When he gets to the front, we don't know what he's doing and all that type of stuff. But like, he still has not won a race. Like, yes,
Exactly.
a lot of the issues that he had the last couple of years in regards to almost winning, it was more manufacturer and more of a mechanical issue. But at the same time, like, he still has not put that car in the victory lane. So let's pump the brakes on the Hurricane
Yeah.
discussion. He's not, you know, and I've saw somebody say, "Oh, he's the next Dale Earnhardt." No.
Don't. Nothing against Carson Hocevar, but don't put him in that guy's name in the same sentence, please.
No, not at
Until
all.
it's proven, and I don't ever think you will see it, but I don't know the future.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree with that. But Jake, so one last recap. We're both going with Larson for our winner. One's to watch. I'm going Chastain. You're going Logano. And our dark horse this week, I'm going Suarez, and you are going with Brad K. So again, thank you so much for everyone tuning in to us live tonight. So sorry about the morale a little bit. I got food poisoning. So you can I'm actually looking at myself right now. I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of sweating. But I appreciate everyone tuning in live tonight. We do not want to miss an episode Talk Phoenix with all y'all. If you love what you're hearing, follow us on Facebook at the Broken Wheel Bearing Podcast, YouTube at the Broken Wheel Bearing Podcast. And if you miss our live streams on Wednesdays or on Wednesday nights, I know the last 2 weeks have been Tuesdays, but we'll be back on Wednesday next week. If you miss our live episodes in the middle of the week, feel free to chime in and listen to us on Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Music. Smash the follow button, smash the like button. If you got friends that love NASCAR, you like what you're hearing, feel free to invite them to like us too. More the merrier. Like I said, I mean, we try to be the voice of the fan. We try to be the voice of the fan. So,
well, also check us out on TikTok, Broken Wheel Bearing Pod. I've been getting better out there. I'm posting different stuff that me and Matt usually won't talk about every week on the show, but I do post some breaking news, some thoughts from the BWB, and we also put in some clips from during the week. So check us out on there, follow us on there. Getting better at that, posting more videos. So people who like 30-second and 1 minute videos, there's your place to go.
Yeah, we are big on TikTok now. Jake's been killing it, not me. I just review. All right, with all that being said, guys, thank you so much for bearing with us again. So sorry, next week hopefully I don't have food poisoning. We get a real nice episode with all you. By the way, we are going to hold off on the koozie giveaway this week. If you follow us on Facebook at the Broken Wheel Bearing Podcast, we'll do our Thirsty Thursday koozie giveaway. So follow us on Facebook, and like I said, we'll be posting a question. Whoever answers, again, we'll be sending a koozie out to you. So with all that being said, have a wonderful rest of your week as we head from Phoenix out to the second race of the West Coast Swing at Vegas. If you're going to the race at Vegas, enjoy yourself, Jake. That's one of our bucket lists.
Yes, it is.
It's one of our bucket lists. So with all that being said, have a wonderful night. Be safe, be blessed. We'll talk next week.
Will you tell Mr. Dennett that Ricky Bobby is my best friend, and it's shaking big time.